Hi, I'm Daniel Shanahan from AppStack Consulting. In this video, we're going to take a look at an IEP integrated classroom management system that I built using SmartSuite. This is an IEP integrated classroom management system that I built, and I'm using SmartSuite, which is a low-code tool, a low-code database tool. I often refer to these as data utility tools. SmartSuite is extremely powerful, and we'll take a look at some of its features here. I have on this system, I have several sets of data, and that's what's really impressive about SmartSuite, and a few other tools do this as well, is you can have these different buckets of data, and you can connect them. You can connect them together. We would call this a relational database management system, but you don't need a database manager or database developer to build it. Let's take a look at all the different buckets that I have. SmartSuite calls these apps, so I'll use that language as well when I move through. This is the person app. And in here, I have a list. It's in a grid view. I have a list of all my students, of all the people. It could be a student, could be a volunteer, could be a teacher, could be an assistant. One of the nice things about SmartSuite is that I can build new views as I need them. So this is my overall view, but I may want to see all of those people in a card view. And here's my staff in a card view, and you can see I've added some pictures for the staff. The pictures, by the way, are all the data is fake, including the pictures. The names, the ages, all of it is fake. The pictures I created using boardhumans.com. So there is no real data in here. But I could take a look at all the staff, and then I could open this up and see more information as I need. I could see where this person is linked to the schools. And let's jump over here to the school. Oh, let me see what else I have here. Oh, I have a list of students. This could be helpful. Students that are not scheduled. Let me go back to my apps. You could see all the students and where they are scheduled. Here's a list of my schools. So I have these 3 schools at these 3 addresses. Again, I'm looking at it in a grid view, but I could also, because they have addresses, I could put those on a map. And so I can open up a map view. Here's one of them, and then the other 2 are here. I can come over here and I can create classrooms. So this is the school that is in this app. And then here's the classroom that I'm using. Now we get to a schedule. I've set this up to be a preschool. So preschool would have a morning and afternoon, possibly kindergarten might as well. And so I have this classroom that we've created over here in this app. Here's the classroom, and each classroom can have an AM or PM. And it's very, very powerful and flexible, because if you have a room that only has an AM, then you just simply wouldn't create this record. And I can go into any of these records, as we saw before, and modify that data. Let's see, this one I only have a grid view on this one, which is fine. And now we're in the enrollment. And so we know who the people, we know who the people are. We have the children, and we have the teachers, and we have the volunteers, and we have the classroom assistants. So we know all of those people. We know the school building. We know the classroom. We know the schedule. It's an AM or PM in which room. And now what we need to do is put all of those things together so that we can see who is in what classroom at what time. And that's what this enrollment app does. So in this I have all the classrooms, again, in the grid view, and now I have it grouped. So I could see that my first school in that classroom, I could see all the AMs, and here's everybody in that room. All the students, the volunteers, the teachers, and the assistants. I could see birthdays for the kids, ages. I could see genders, and because this is an IEP solution, there's special needs level. And there would be different ways of marking the special needs level. And these are listed by the school. So here's the PM for the same classroom, here's the AM. So I can very easily and very quickly scroll down to see who's in what classroom. And there's aggregates at the top here. So I could see how many kids are in each building. I'm sorry, how many people are in each building. I could do this by students only. So now I have a list of all the students that are in the classroom. These can collapse or expand as I need them. And I might want to focus on just one building, one classroom. And so I could do that here. And I can see again the aggregates for the other classrooms. Here's the staff, if I want to focus on just the staff. Again, very powerful in the way that I can the way I can sort, filter, and group the data. And I can save these as well, save these views. Here I have the students by need, so I can very quickly see how many of my students do not have an IEP, and in this rating I have them as low, medium, and high. You might have them rated differently. And I can open those up, and I just happen to have these filtered by gender. So I have the male and female here. But there aren't any teachers, there aren't any volunteers. This is filtered just by the student. And I could do the same thing with age. So I could very quickly take a look at where are all my 5-year-olds, or I could quickly say what I have the most of this age and the least of this age. I can open those up. In this particular one, the secondary level is the IEP. You might have the secondary level as the gender, or you might have the secondary level as the school. The last thing I want to show about this classroom management for school, it might be useful for your school, is this registration form. Again, we're looking at a grid view, and this is a way for people to request admission into your school. We could do a form in SmartSuite, so I've built a form here. Very simple form, and the form is shared. That's what this is telling me here. I'm going to grab that link. If I wanted to, I could embed that link into my school website. I have that link, and I'm going to open it up in a private browser. So the reason I open it up in a private browser is to clarify or explain, I suppose, that you don't need. You could send this out to your constituents, and they do not need to have a SmartSuite account. They can receive this form, and they can fill out the form, and the data will go into your SmartSuite solution, but the people you send it to do not have to be a member. They don't have to have a subscription to SmartSuite. And so let's do this. I'm going to fill this out. Here. Now, before I submit this form, I'm going to take a look at, I have this search in SmartSuite, and I can look all over all of the apps that I have, and I'm taking a look at Jane. Do I have a record with Jane in it? And I don't have any records. So That'll be easy to see how this enters the system. And let's pop back here on grid view. We don't have anybody here in our grid. So I have Jane Doe is going to sign up, and I'll submit that. And I get a thank you notice here, and you can see Jane Doe popped into my SmartSuite there. I'll just hide that. So now if I'm in the school administration, I could see that I have somebody new who's requesting to come into the school. And there are other things that you could put in here. You could put in the school year. You might want to say that we're registering for next year, something like that. I have a status here. Your status might be different, but I have something where it's submitted and review, accepted or rejected. So I could easily come in here and see where all of my the works that have been submitted and it needs an action by somebody. Okay, we have Jane in review. Now the last thing I want to show is an automation. I have an automation set up so that if Jane is accepted into the system, that her name will go into this table. We don't have Jane here. We just have her, let's look for Jane again. We just have her in that form submission. And here she is in the registration request inbox. That's the only place that she exists. But now we've done a review of Jane. Whatever documents, you could add documents as well. And I could be reviewing all those. And then after that, we decide to accept Jane. And I could put a reason here for accepting Jane. Now if I go over to the person, I could see Jane Doe is now at the bottom of the list, and she's not scheduled anywhere. And again, with the different views I have, I could go down. I have a view for all the students who are not scheduled. So I know right away, here are all the people I need to put into a classroom. That's just a quick example of how you could use SmartSuite in your school. This would be really, really helpful if you have a standalone preschool or maybe even a special needs school. Could be very helpful with that. If you have any questions about SmartSuite, if you need help setting up SmartSuite, contact me at appstackconsulting.com.